So today we've got a fun live on transforming lives through sex, magic, and tantra. So I'm super excited. We're gonna be having Jason on here with me. So hello, welcome. Come on in. Yeah, so I'm super excited for our talk today. All things sex, magic, and tantra. We're gonna go into different topics, speak about our couples work, something that we've been working on, and yeah, so I'm gonna invite now Jason. 1 second. This always happens. I always try to click this view request and always have some issues. Give me a minute. I'm clicking, Jason. It's not working for some reason. Let me see. Okay. Boom. Let's see. Did it go through? I accepted. Hello.
Hello.
Yay, it worked.
It worked.
Every time I'm like, why is this not working?
That's all right. I'm glad that you actually took control of it instead of me. You've got much more experience.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining, Jason. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, actually, let me adjust myself here. Let me bring myself up a little bit. Perfect.
And hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm Jason. I run Art of Modern Tantra Touch. I also have Rhythmic Bodywork on Instagram, and we've decided to do this InstaLive so that way all of our wonderful followers can get to know a little about us and a little about the spiritual community and learn about, the tools that we utilize to help our clients, and also for us to get to know each other, because it does seem like from our discussions yesterday that we are really on the same page about what we want for our clients and for their self-betterment. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for everybody watching.
Yes, exactly, Jason. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Olivia. I'm a sex, love, and relationship coach. And yeah, I work with singles and couples, really introducing them to the spiritual side of sexuality and sensuality as well. So yeah, I'm excited for our talk.
I'm very excited for our talk. So for her followers that don't know what I do personally, I'm a master body worker. I have been since 1997, but as of late, I have really transformed myself into encompassing not just the physical, but also the spiritual. I teach Tantra workshops. I do couples therapy as well for my Tantra services. I teach other Tantra specialists, and I do private Tantra sessions with clients. So I'm glad that we're basically in the same field and we're approaching it from different ways, but we have the same results in mind.
Yeah, totally. So I figured we could go into just different topics. I know couples is what we really want to get into.
Yes.
I haven't spoken much to everyone about my couples work, which has been really amazing. Just seeing and introducing people to this new form of sex, where something as simple as intention, they're like, whoa, I never thought about even having an intention, starting.
Exactly. Because we have a society that's pretty much been raised on porn. I mean, if you think about it, especially for the male population, but also for the female population, the exposure to porn has produced a certain sort of sexual experience that just when it comes to real life, sure, it's great for the camera, but when it comes to real life, you need that engagement between the two people. You can see the physical engagement on the films, and that's what you seem to believe that sex is about, but it really is it's an erotic and passionate dance between two people. It's not just the physical part, it's the hunting part, it's the sharing of responsibility of who's ultimately in charge of the orgasm that you're trying to achieve. It's a very delicate, very beautiful dance, and most people, they just tend to think of it as a physical exchange, and that's what we're here to prove, that there's so much more and it's so much healthier. So I'm happy to have you today.
Yeah, totally. And just even as you mentioned that, it's like there are so many flavors of the sexual experience. And I always tell my clients, it's not just about reaching the goal of orgasm. It's like, how can you really take this as an opportunity to play, to explore, to use all your five senses? As you mentioned, that's like the first thing I tell my clients is, you know, let's start getting rid of porn because it's really
Yeah.
starting to prime you for that instant gratification that in
Yeah.
reality, you know, the life journey, you know, doesn't really work that way. So, yeah.
So give me a few of your questions.
Yes.
Because as we
So,
said yesterday, we're going to have a few things that we really want to talk about. And I know we're definitely going to jump into the workshops. We're going to jump into our couples therapy. We're going to jump into what we physically do with people. But now's your chance for your audience to get to know a little bit about me, and then I will do the same for you.
yeah. Yeah, so I would say maybe what is like the number one thing that couples come to you for?
What
Um,
the number one thing in general that couples come for me is the fact that they start to notice in their exchanges while they're making love or just in the relationship in general that there seems to be a lack of intimate connection when they should be bonding. You know, either a lack of eye contact, sometimes it's a lack of synchronized breathing. They're just, you know, there's much more than just the physical when it comes to their connection. And when they notice that that other half is not there, it really starts to create a wedge energetically between them. So when I have couples that I'm working with, it is to try to mend that, to try to get them both on the same level. Our bodies do produce an electrical discharge. It's just a fact of life. It's scientifically proven. You know, the beating of our heart, our sympathetic nervous system, they all operate electrically. So,
yep.
you know, when people that are non-spiritual tend to laugh at spiritual people about when we talk about auras and we talk about this energetic flow that goes through the body. And I was one of those before. And when I started my bodywork practice, I was very much aligned with Western thought. If it didn't show up in an MRI, it wasn't there. But there is something to be said about that electrical discharge. There's something to be said about bonding with somebody in a moment, eye gazing with each other, connecting at a much deeper level, synchronizing breathing, you know, really getting out of your headspace and concentrating on how the body feels in the moment. Because when you engage in intuition rather than the frontal lobe of the brain all the time in the relationship, especially in bonding moments, when you're able to connect at such an intimate level that your intuition is fully engaged and you can feel every feeling, you can harmonize with that electrical discharge of your partner. It creates a bonding experience that my couples that come to me are hoping to achieve. Now, my private work with individuals, it does vary. Some people are looking for that, but within themselves. You know, self-love
Mm,
should always be number one. Self-growth should
yeah.
always be number one. It's just like, you know, when you're on an airplane and you know, there's an emergency. They tell you to take out, if you're a parent, they tell you to take the mask and put it on your face first before putting it on a child's face. And it's the same thing with all relationships, whether they just be friendly bonding relationships or intimate personal relationships. Really, the focus should be on yourself and in the abundance of that, of how happy and how energetic you are. Then you shower the other person with it. And so, you know, as much as I love my couples therapy work that I do, individuals shouldn't be scared to come and see me as well, because, you know, through that helping my clients find that everlasting self-love and finding the issues that are really bothering them, it helps dramatically. Some of my favorite clients are even in more extreme cases. I deal a lot with, you know, women that were sexually or physically abused as a child or as an adult, or women that are coming out of a very domestically violent situation or even emotionally, you know, troubling situation in a previous or current relationship. You know, we have a tendency to withdraw after traumatic experiences, and especially those that have been, you know, sexually abused. Um, not just the thought and the fear of being touched intimately scares them to death, but the fear of, you know, they emotionally bond with somebody and then that person goes to touch them intimately and they reject them. And so the fear is
Hmm.
two found. It's basically them being scared of being touched and being scared of scaring away somebody that they truly love and feel is worth the attention, because they won't understand their situation. So I get a lot of female clients that utilize my services as a way to bridge that, to find somebody that they're comfortable, even if they feel like they need to pull away, that's going to understand the situation and be there for them and not be scared away. And also, let's face it, I'm a guy that can be disposable in their life if they choose. If they You know, like they feel like they can go one step further because if they do magically scare me away, which won't happen, then it's okay. They didn't lose that person that they value so much. You know, we have a tendency as victims of abuse, and I'm myself a one, so that's why I can relate so well with this, and this is why it's like such a big important part of what I do for a living, is that we grow these bonds with people as a safety net. You know, when you're an abuse victim, you know, your self-esteem drops down to this tiny. You're scared
Yeah.
of abandonment. You tend to grow attachments with people and put on a performance. You tend to put on the performance that you feel is going to keep their attention and gaze on you, because if you're scared, if you fall, you won't have anybody to support you. And you know, like I help women that kind of work through those issues as well. It's a beautiful thing. And couples, singles, everybody. I just thoroughly enjoy what I do.
Yeah. No, and that's so beautiful. And thank you for sharing, Jason. And it, as you mentioned too, that self-love aspect, we tend to always want to think of Tantra as like sexual, but really
That's
there's
half of the
so much
battle here in the
online.
West. You're right. I
Yeah.
have to educate people that are scared to pull the trigger, you know? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure with you too, and we did talk about this yesterday. You know, there are a lot of people that follow our pages that haven't reached out to us, that just are interested in hearing about Tantra or sex coaching, but they're just too shy because of like what they feel are perceived social restrictions. Like, oh, if I'm going to see a sex coach, or if I'm going to go see a
Yeah.
Tantra specialist, you know, it's going to be all about sex, and sex is bad and sex is wrong, and how are people going to view me and stuff like that. Well, you know, like sometimes, you know, when you're on the trigger and you're ready to pull, just, you know, like understanding that, yeah, Tantra in the West is known as being a very sexual thing. You know, unfortunately, the rest of the information of Tantra, uh, but it's getting there. More people are getting
Yeah.
spiritually tuned and kind of really diving in and understanding that it's more about, and the same thing with the sexual liberation that you do in coaching, you know, it's more about helping people progress, because the sooner they lose those stigmas, the higher their energy level is going to raise, the more free they're going to feel. For the longest time, I deal with sex as part of my work, like it's that sexual energy, that energy of desire. And even though it's not like perversion sexual energy, it's beautiful and divine sexual energy. But I, even myself, when I started this Instagram page, was like, how much do I go out? How much do I tell? Like, do I transport stuff over to my Facebook page? I do have family, you know, that are kind of religious. But then, you know, like, I know for me, finding that value and saying, you know what, I'm just comfortable being me. Like, just be me. Who
Yeah.
cares? And that's very helpful for those clients that we have on both of our pages that are looking at sex therapy or looking at sex coaching or looking at Tantra and just about to pull the trigger on it. And just know that if you pull the trigger on it and you feel the relief of not having those stigmas and not having those stereotypes hold you down, it's
Yeah.
a level of heaven on earth that I can't describe.
100%.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Amazing. So yeah, I guess tell me a little bit more about what you have coming up. I know you mentioned Tantra Studios. I love the
Tantra
idea of
Studios
networking.
has been, oh my God, Irina, that's at Tantra Studios. I don't know, you haven't been there personally yet, but you really need to check it
I
out.
will. I will be there soon. Yeah.
I must admit it is a big factor in my own personal growth. I've done, you know, we've had workshops there in the past, and I've been to amazing classes, everything from CAP classes to breathing classes to they just have an abundance of different things, and the place is amazing. It looks like a warehouse from the outside, and you step in and it's like heaven on earth. She's transported all these beautiful artifacts from Thailand and Bali, and she's got her own little shop in there with crystals and everything, and it's just it's this energy in there that, like, the last place I felt it in was Costa Rica. It's pretty amazing. And so the next workshop that I'll do there, I need to speak with her and find out exactly when, because my old I recently got out of a breakup a few months ago and out of a relationship a few months ago. So my old workshops were Tantra workshops with my ex. And now that I've hit this period of spiritual growth since then, the next set of workshops that I do there or anywhere are going to be a vast upgrade from what I'm doing before. So just like we got people ready to pull the trigger that are followers of ours, I'm ready to pull the trigger on these next upcoming workshops. But I'm adding some extra really cool things. Like there's this thing called from Nepal called Nepalese mad honey. It is a honey that's grown in one specific valley that has these plants that have small little trace amounts of neurotoxins in them. And when the bees collect the honey from pollinate those plants and then form their honeycomb, they've got these daredevils that rappel off the side of a cliff in the Himalayas and gather that honey up. And so I'll be doing cacao ceremonies / Nepalese mad honey ceremonies, the combination of the two, as kind of the beginning part of the next tantra workshop. So little extra additional things like that are what I'm going through logistically. But as soon as that comes to fruition, I'm waiting for the supplies to arrive. Then I'll announce when the workshop's going to be. But it's going to be amazing. And the next workshop I'll do will be helping people fully understand how to engage with that energetic flow that happens when the heart and the sympathetic nervous system gets activated through tantra. So a lot of what I do is knowing that power, I have the ability to read that and to heighten that sensation. I go through different step process with people where we pick the intention, where I elevate their level of touch, I electrify their central nervous system, and then that's all before my hands are even laid on them. So I've got like a chain of events that just heighten that sensation of touch. And then that's what I'm going to teach in the next workshop. So that way couples and singles will have that ability to be able to engage with people on that level.
Amazing.
And I'm sure we will be there.
Yes, 100%. Love it.
So tell me more about you. Tell me more about the couples and singles therapy that you do. Tell me how you help clients get out of their head and into their body, because we both know that's important.
Yes, totally. So yeah, I mean, it's so interesting as you say. It's like on the energetic level, there is so much that goes on even before it becomes physical. So a lot of what I do is I really teach people how to activate that energy within them and start moving it throughout their body. So it's like the more that we just understand that everything is energy and everything can be moved, that's just even a game changer in itself. And you know, it's so funny because it's like breath. It's as simple as breathing. And we forget that it's like, oh my goodness, the breath is so powerful. It's simply intention and breath, and it takes you there. And you know, even in the beginning, as you mentioned, it's like with couples, most of my couples work, I'm teaching them how to breathe. And singles as well. It's like in your self-pleasure practice, you know, are you breathing? You know, are you slowing down? Are you really connecting with your body versus
because when you're not, you're holding things in your sacral. You're not spreading it out, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I do is the energetic breath work to really guide the energy, whether it's for release, whether it's for activation. Purely it's the intention that the client goes into the experience. They start to see how it plays out, you know, in the physical realm. So I feel like that's been super powerful, just really introducing people to the powers of their body and how they can, you know, move that energy. And of course, you know, this comes in the form of emotion as well. So a lot of what I do is, you know, getting people to feel comfortable expressing their emotions. And the more you express those emotions, the more expressive you feel, the more you can express yourself in the outside world. So that's that huge turning point that I believe in, the empowerment you know, module of like, the more you can feel, the more you can express, boom, that's where the power really comes from, of you being embodied in this way of life.
Yeah. And I love the way that you engage with people. At least I haven't got a chance to see the way you engage with your clients, but I see the way that you engage with your followers. I mean, you've really jumped and put yourself out there. I love the video content. I absolutely love the idea of a podcast where you and your roommate are sitting in a bed. It's a very intimate setting for a podcast. And it lets you dive deep. I must admit, I soaked that session up. I listened to it the entire time I was driving. It was amazing. No, the type of energy that you provide to your people, at least to the followers, I'm impressed with. And knowing that when you have your clients one-on-one or couples, you know, like it showcases a lot of you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it means a lot. And of course, that was my journey of being able to fully come out as, you know, as myself and not hide from the world. I think, you know, I think that's a lot of the part of the journey is you being able to fully come out with what you desire, what you really want in life. a lot of even like, so I mentioned the sex magic manifestation practices that I do, it really, it blows my mind how some people just haven't even thought about what they desire. It's almost like they've shut themselves down because they either don't believe they can have it, they feel they're unworthy of it. And a lot of the work is just you really changing your truths, that you maybe created as a child and they're no longer serving. So it's time to recreate that story and find an empowering story. So that's the fun part of sex magic. You can really use your breath, cultivate that sexual energy, move it up, refine it, send it out, and bring it back in. So I think that's one of my favorite practices that I teach clients and couples as well.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is. So how long have you been practicing what you do, and how did you transition into it?
Yeah, so I would say with clients, I've been for almost 2 years now. And really, I mean, I guess my journey started in the last like 4 years of my spiritual evolution. And yeah, it's been a process, as I like to say. A lot of it's been enjoying the journey versus getting to the goal. And within that, it was a lot of uncovering really those inner parts of me, those, I would say, perhaps shadows, bringing them to surface and really learning how to love them. So that translates over to my work as well. Always what we see that happens, when we start to look at the subconscious, it's like those versions, those past versions of you that perhaps you abandoned or you rejected are coming through for that deeper wisdom, that deeper layer of love. And it's like the more that we can integrate those parts of ourselves, the more whole we feel. And really that's to me like the true way of loving yourself. I always like to say it's not that bath that you put on. It's really going in there and really seeing yourself in this new light and this new perspective. And it starts to change your world and how you show up.
And when you make that investment in yourself, it pays off in dividends. People are so used to putting an investment in relationships when they realize the real relationship investment they should be making is themselves. I find that a lot of my clients are firmly realizing now, and myself as well, that part of the reason why we do get sad after a breakup happens is because we know how much energetically we've invested in that person. And we feel robbed. We feel like we put all this energy, all this emotional energy into somebody that the relationship collapsed on. And they don't feel like they got that investment back. So now they're mad at themselves. That's part of where the sadness comes from. And, you're right. I mean, people really need to invest that in themselves. That self-love is just the most important thing ever. Because then you're never going to abandon yourself. You're never going to feel abandonment, and that's why a lot of people are scared to pull the trigger on things, is because they're scared of abandonment. But if the one person who can never abandon you is the one person that you dedicate the most love to, you're going to have a pretty successful life.
Yes. Yeah, and you bring up a good topic, because also I'm really right now kind of in like conscious dating realm and seeing, how can you really bring back the fun and pleasure in dating. And I'm co-hosting a workshop with a fellow coach on Sunday. And really it's about exploring, how you mentioned that abandonment. It's like those breakups hurt because most of the time that sadness is because you took that so personally that you rejected yourself, and you took it to a level of, I wasn't good enough and that's why that person left me, versus really seeing this bigger picture of like, maybe there wasn't compatibility there. Maybe there was some other energies at play, other lessons that you had to learn from that relationship. And
aren't relationships great growing points? Even the ones that fail are the best growing points.
Even the ones that fail, and so I think part of, especially in that workshop, where we're going to go through is like, how do you see yourself as a lover? And what do others see you as a lover? And mostly it's really those subconscious energies that are at play. And I love doing that exercise, and I really hope people join on Sunday to experience it, because what you realize, there's so much subconscious energy that's actually making you show up a certain way. And the more we can bring that to consciousness, the more we can be aware of how we are, the easier we can, call it like, oh, that's my inner child showing up. Like, this isn't really me. This is just a part of me that, wants to express itself. And maybe there's other ways for this expression and for this communication.
Yeah. So could you tell my people where or how to reach in and join in on this discussion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a virtual workshop. It's going to be this Sunday, the 24th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The link is in my bio, and also,
Give your give
DM
your
me.
page name, because they're gonna
Oh
need to be
yeah,
able to follow you.
it's Pretty Gypsy Dreams. So that
Okay,
is my Instagram handle, and then I'll also leave it in the comments here, so you guys can have access to it.
perfect. And for her
And
people, mine is Rhythmic Bodywork. I would love for you guys to follow me. I'm starting to post more frequently. Even the photos on my page, click on them. They all have words underneath them. And
yes,
the
read
reason
those
I'm posting are
captions.
for those words, not for the photo. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's very nice that, like together as a community, we can come together to get to know each other and to grow, but also to show our clients or prospective clients that we're not stagnant. I mean, like, we want you to come experience what we offer because we've been where you are right now. Like, we had to start our path somewhere, and that was by getting help from people like who we are right now. And we love the growth. Like, the whole reason why I do this is because it's amazing to see a broken person and arrive, leave refreshed. And I've had clients that were going to commit suicide, and that this changed them. And it's just so rewarding. Since I found out that my name Jason means Greek, it means healer in Greek. Like, I've been obsessed with wanting to get the ability to heal people with just my touch, no medicine. I just feel like it's the closest thing I can do to being performing a miracle is to heal someone with my own touch. And I accomplished that in the massage world, but now to really feel like I can reach in and touch somebody and fix them emotionally or energetically, and produce a happier existence after that point. Just I love what I do. I'm proud of what I do. I'm proud that this is the way that I provide for my son, and I've got a beautiful daughter and a grandson. I'm a grandpa. So, like, I've had a very abundant, very wonderful life. And I'm so happy that this is, it's culminated in my ability to be able to do this for other people now. So it's been a blessing, and it's great to see our community pull together because, let's face it, we have the best demographic on earth. We have a client base that is the most adaptable, most willing to go and try new things, the most, like, driven to becoming better people in the world, the spiritual community.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a stagnant client base. We have a client base that's willing to go outside of their boundaries and think outside of the box on trying to find out, how can I become everything that I'm supposed to be? I mean, there's no other demographic for businesses to market to on earth. And for me and you and all the rest of us that are doing this, helping people along this path, to be part of that is really something beautiful. I really feel like, like, this is the way life should be. Shouldn't all businesses be more spiritually driven, more spiritually focused on the betterment and growth of the human population? Unfortunately, a lot of them are the opposite. And it's really awesome that we come together and let our followers and let our people in this community know who we are and what we do and how we help people, because it's important. And trust me, like, I know for me, my goal isn't to keep a client as a lifelong client. I want them to progress past my skills and move on to something else, because I know the door is open, and there's always going to be more people that are where they were when they started with me, ready to utilize me as the bridge to where they need to go. And so, like, that's the energy that I bring into my sessions. I want to fix somebody fully. I started doing that just as a massage therapist. Like, I would give people exercises and stretches and activities to do to fix their problems, so they didn't have to keep coming back to me. And all my other massage therapist friends were like, why do you do that? It messes up your business. Like, you want them to continue to keep having pain because they keep using you and keep paying you. But it just wasn't the way that I felt like I needed to do. And my clients appreciated that and loved that about me. And now I do it spiritually. And it's great that we have a community where that growth is of the most importance to us. And we have a client base that wants to try new things and doesn't stay stagnant and get caught up in the fact that in the West, tantra means sex, and sex coaching, all, about, promiscuity and stuff like that. No, it's about self-betterment. It's about becoming a better, more full, more capable human being. And I love it.
100%.
Sorry, I get on a little ramble
No,
every
it's
once in a
good.
while.
No, and as you mentioned, I think life is all about love and expansion, and that's literally what I'm doing with my life. And there's so much magic in this. And as you said, we have a community. Like I was doing so much self work alone, but really the true power came from me coming to with people, doing this together, being guided, being held. It's a completely different experience, and that's what I always want to show people is like you don't have to do this alone. Like you have people that you can have support with and lean on. And yeah, it's more fun. It's better together, and you can do it playfully, and you don't have to take it so seriously. But yeah, it really is. It's so heart opening. So I hope everyone gets to experience all the magic.
I definitely think so. The sex magic.
Yeah, the sex magic, of course.
I'm so happy that that's the video that you posted on YouTube that really started to snowball things. That's absolutely amazing.
People are curious.
Yeah, well, I have to say that's why I used it on the intro for this. It's beautiful. It works perfect. It catches everybody's attention. And I hope that our people, both of this video, of course, is recorded live, but there are going to be many people that watch it in the future. And I'm hoping that it lures them in because I guarantee they're going to learn something out of this conversation.
100%.
Perfect.
All right. So yeah, I think we have other calls booked, but thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you, Olivia. I really appreciate it. To all of my followers, please jump on her page. She does have this event coming up on Sunday, right?
Correct. Yes.
And what time on Sunday?
From 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And that's Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
So please jump on her page. Look in your bio. Correct.
Yes. Yes,
and I'll follow her
here as well. Yeah,
sounds wonderful. And I will definitely forward you over the information for my next workshop that should be soon. As soon as I get things finalized, I would love to have any of your followers and yourself show up, support, learn new things. I guarantee it's going to be amazing. You could follow my page, Rhythmic Bodywork, on Instagram, and your page. One more time.
Pretty Gypsy Dreams.
Perfect. Look forward to hopefully hearing back from many people in the comment section. And please, anytime, consider yourself family.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Bye.